Just a quick word of warning. I do try to keep all the swearing out of the podcast, but I'm not necessarily always good about that. So if you are listening with young ones, just please be aware. And now on with the show. Silver. It is Monday, May 11th. I just want to say a quick hello to all new viewers, and also welcome back. And let's also go to my returning viewers. If you tuned in last time and decided to come back, I really do appreciate it. I know it has been a while, but with the lockdown / quarantine thing that's going on for COVID, it's been hard for anyone really to do anything, it seems like. So yeah, MTI is currently working from home, so if you hear stuff going on in the background, that's him probably yelling at his screen for work, because yes, middle of the day, he is working from home. Anyway, you can find me actually on Ravelry as Silverluna2112, at Silver's Treats on Instagram, and at Silver's Knitting on Twitter. As I mentioned before, I do have a bit to talk to you about because it has been so long. So please grab your drink of choice, your crafting, and away we go. Today I'm actually drinking what is my second cup of French vanilla coffee from Harmony Bay. So if I seem to be going a little fast, it's because, well, it's more caffeine than I've had in a while. So anyway, let me take a quick sip and we'll get going. It is good. Okay. In this episode, we do have FOs, or finished objects. We do have stash dash ready, which is basically everything's ready for stash dash, aka the 22nd of the month. I do also have a bunch of works in progress, or WIPs. I do have Silver's Unraveling Fast, X's and O's, which is actually where I talk about my other crafting. Then Radio GaGa, Silver's Book Pile, Silver in the Case of the Screen Time, The More You Know, My Favorite Things, and The End of the Road. So with that, I'm going to take another sip and drink, and we'll go on to the next segment. Alright, let's talk finished objects, or FOs. The first one was I finished since the last time we talked was my April Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. I called this project Screen Review because yeah, I did use the Viso base of Desert Vista Dyeworks in the Zombody Mystery Machine, hence the title of the project. I used the pattern Taupe Socks with a Difference by Wendy D. Johnson. And I used a size 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter on 9-inch circulars for a majority of the sock. And then I actually switched over to 2/16 circular method for the heels, the toes, and the cuffs as well. And this was actually housed in my Stained Glass Beauty and the Beast bag by Molly Klein Designs. Alright, so the next thing that I have quote-unquote finished, that I can, okay, it's technically a work in progress, but I finished 9 squares of my Scrappy Happy blanket since the last time we talked. I also connected a majority of the ones that I have completed. So now I have a few completed rows, which I'm kind of really excited about to show you guys. The yarn that I'm using is a miscellaneous amount of yarns, fingering weight scraps that I've had from different socks and different things like that, as well as different minis that I've gotten over the years. I'll have a full list of all the colors and everything that I've used in each of the pictures down below on your screen. That way you can see that. And also on my project page will be a complete list. Because yeah, there are quite a few squares still left to go in this blanket. I'm actually using a size G hook, which is a 4.25 millimeter needle or hook. Yeah, I'm still not used to that, guys. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next segment. Okay, let's talk what's ready for the beginning of Stash Dash. I have 5 different projects I've added to my large box full of already ready projects. The first one, I have actually started and got to this the stopping point, about 2 rows in the bind off before the end since the last time we talked, and these actually were my May Desert Vista Dye Work socks. I called them my birthday month socks because quite frankly, oh, yeah, maybe. But anyway, I used the toe up socks with a difference pattern by Wendy D. Johnson. And I used, like I said, the Desert Vista Dye Works Visibase in the Daphne Zombati Blake colorway. So it has purples in it. It has greens and so many cool colors that I absolutely loved. And that's why I chose it for my birthday socks. Anyway, I did use the size US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter on 9-inch circulars, as well as these 2 16-inch circulars as well for the heels, toes, and cuffs. And right now, the project is actually being housed in my stained glass Beauty and the Beast bag by Molly Klein Designs. I actually have that in the box as we speak. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm ready for the next month to start so I can use it again. Anyway, the next thing that is ready for Stash Dash is what I'm calling It's Getting Dangerous. I have done a fair amount of the shawl, as in 3/4 of the shawl since the last time we talked. I do have a few more rounds and then the bind off, and then it's ready to go ahead for Stash Dash. I'm going to go ahead and stop and actually talk about what Stash Dash is. If you don't know, it is a cal that's actually being housed by the Knit Girls, where you go ahead and you challenge yourself to finish as many projects as you possibly can during the summer, anywhere from May 22nd up until August 22nd. Basically, the rules are, as long as you do some knitting or crocheting on the project and then the bind off, it will count, and the yardage or the meterage that you use, which is how you end up counting your meterage, will count toward your final total. I'm thinking about heading for a 15K goal and beyond this time, but we shall see. I have lots of plans for that. I will probably do a separate video, I think, right before Stash Dash actually kicks off, to list off all the products that I have, as well as a separate blog post. Okay, now that I'm done rambling and you know what Stash Dash is, let's move on to the third project that is now ready for Stash Dash. This is the project that I called Blue Bro. It is essentially a new project, again, you have not seen since the last time we talked. I now, again, only have 2 rows and the bind off to go on this one. This is the toe up socks with a difference pattern by Wendy D. Johnson. I used a Regia design line, the Arnie and Carlos blue, orange, and green colorway that they have. I think the colorway name is 03656, which is very hard to remember and say all at once, you guys, I have to tell you. Anyway, I did use a size US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter 9-inch circulars and 2 16-inch circulars for the heels, toes, and cuffs on this one as well, mostly because it is a heavier fingering weight. So let's see. Oh, and I did have this housed in the Jack Skellington bag by Molly Klein Designs. It is now relocated into a Ziploc bag in the box that I mentioned before. Anyway, the next thing that I did manage to get to Stash Dash readiness status was what I called Dr. Daddy-O. I basically have 2 more toes left and it's completely done. So 2 toes and the Kitchener, which is not really my favorite method, but we shall see how that goes. Anyway, the pattern that I used on this one was Doctor Who Reverse Polarity Socks by Rosie Rose. And I am using 2 separate balls of Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering in the Newport colorway, mostly to try to use as much of it as I possibly can. And also I wanted to make sure that I kept going with the socks. I did use the size 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter 9-inch circulars up to the toes, heels, and cuffs and all that. So, all right, now this one is very cabled and I was addicted to it. I think I finished a majority of the patterning in like 2 days, I believe. No, 2 days for the like 2 days for the foot and 3 days, I think, each sock rather, for the cuffs as well. It was pretty bananas. Oh yeah, speaking of bananas, the next project that I did get to this point was what I called Banana Sis. This pattern that I used was Socks on a Plan by Lala of the Knit Girls. Love this pattern. I have literally 2 rows of the ribbing and the bind off on the second sock, and then that one is ready to go. I did use Hue Loco Merino sock in the 2020 base in the Banana Who colorway. Yeah, I love this colorway. It's a bright yellow color. I think my recipient will love it. And I actually used a size US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter. I ended up using 9-inch circulars for a majority of the sock, except for the cuff, I believe, and the toes. Oh, I cannot wait for my recipient to see those, you guys. All right, before I go ahead and ramble more, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's talk whips or works in progress. The first one that I have gotten a little bit of work on, it's actually new since the last time you talked, is what I called R Bro. I won't tell you who it's for, and yeah. Anyway, the pattern that I used on this one was the Toe Up Socks of the Difference by Wendy D. Johnson. And I am using West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply in the colorway 0713. It does have the light green in there. There's also some grays and reds. And oh, I just love this colorway. It makes a nice patterning color, as you can probably see from the picture. And I am using a size US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter, I think. I know it's a 2.25 millimeter. I think it's a size 1 actually. Anyway, this is actually being housed in my Black Skellington bag by Molly Klein Design. I really like her bags. Can you tell? The next thing that I did start since the last time we talked, I'm actually crocheting a shawl. This was part of the Shawl Along the World cal pattern by Elizabeth Wacat. That was part of the break month cal that we had done together. Again, like I said, the pattern was the Shawl Around the World. I didn't try to do anything fancy with the project name, because why? Anyway, I am using Apple Tree Knit Sock Love Fingering in the Buffy colorway, as well as a G-hook, which is a 4.25 millimeter. It's actually being housed in my summer bag that I got from someone at SSK 2018. I am so sorry. I don't remember who it was. It was somebody that did one-off bags for that one event and gave them out to pretty much everyone, which I really do appreciate. It is like the perfect size for the first clue, which is all I've done so far. So the first clue, maybe in 5 or 6 rows after that. I don't know. I lost my mojo on it for a while. Yeah. Sorry, Elizabeth. The next thing that I did put, I'd say, a little bit of love on is what I called quarantine stripiness, because quite frankly I needed another crochet project that was nice and simple and used up more of my fingering scraps. This is the pattern Granny Stripes by Lucy of Attic 24. I'm using all of my heavier fingering weight scraps. I'm going to be doing a full list in my podcast or my project notes as well. That way you can find them all. A lot of the ones that I've put in so far have been colorways from Patton's Croy, and then we'll go from there. I am using a 5.0 millimeter, which is an H hook, and it is actually being housed in my Hamilton bag by Jilly of the Knitted Broomstick. I have also done a lot of work on my Scrappy Happy Desert Vista Dye Works blanket. I have started the colors from this year. Actually, in fact, I have gotten all the way up to this month's colorway. In fact, a little bit of a spoiler alert, this is also going to feed into the next segment. But before I get there, I am actually on this project. I'm using, like I mentioned, miscellaneous Desert Vista dyework scraps, and they all will be listed directly on my project page. And I'm using a G hook, which is a 4.25 millimeter. Let's see. Oh, and the last thing before I move on to the next segment was what I called Huffle Pride. I have done, oh my goodness, quite a bit of this sweater since the last time we talked. I am into the 4th row of the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater. Like a lot of work, at least 2 or 4 inches. I can't remember, but I did a lot. This is what comes of having lots of Zoom calls and stuff like that, but I'll explain that later on. The pattern that I'm using on this one is Hogwarts A History by Megan Regan. And I am using 2 different colors of Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love Sock in the slate colorway for the main part, and the lemon curd for the yoke colorwork, as well as the colorwork I put down the bottom by the bottom of the sweater, as well as I'm going to do a band of colorwork on both wrists as well, before the ribbing, obviously. Okay, so before I ramble on about the projects, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Alright, let's move on to Silver's Unraveling Fast. I'm going to have before and after on both the projects that I'm going to mention. The first one was what I called Scraptastic DVD. This is actually completely gone for good. I have ripped it out all the way back. All of the Desert Vista dyework scraps that we're using in that blanket have now actually gone to the Scrappy Happy Desert Vista dyeworks blanket. Because quite frankly, crochet goes lots faster. I was noticing also that the square pattern in knit was just taking me way too goddamn long. Sorry, GD long. Anyway, the second thing that did get ripped out since the last time we talked was what I called Blue Tape Chai Rag Silver Style. I have actually changed the pattern, the project name to Blue Tate Silver Style. I decided that I didn't want to do any patterning on it. I used the CC's Vanilla Cappuccino Socks by CC Almond. It is a vanilla sock. I love it. It works out. I have gotten through one sock completely now, and I am about 4 or 5 rows to the heel on the second sock. So it went fast since now I'm working on it. Anyway, you want to know what yarn I'm using, right? I'm using Cascade Yarn Silk Paints in the colorway 8826, which is a very blue, variegated colorway. I love it. And I am actually using a size US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter on 9-inch circulars. Since I'm on the foot, I'll be on a size 1. I'll be on that 9-inch circular up until the ribbing, actually. Anyway, I know, short segment. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Let's talk X's and O's. Yes, I've been doing other crafting besides knit and crochet. The first one that I managed to put, I'd say an S-ton of work on the Butterfly Forest cross stitch pattern by Dimensions. This is actually part of their gold collection. I have done quite a bit of work. Here is both the before and the after, so you can kind of see. I take progressive shots every couple of days that I work on it, because I tend to get a bee in my bonnet about working on it for a couple days straight, pretty much, and then I will take a picture after each of those sessions, I guess, and post that up on social medias and stuff like that. So you can always follow me for my progress, or you can wait for a podcast. It's up to you. I'm not the boss of you. Anyway, the other thing that I did put, not much work in, but did get a little bit of work, enough to talk about it, was a latch hook rug project that I have had in my stash upstairs for, goodness me, I have no idea how long. This is the Disney Dream Collection Beauty and the Beast Falling in Love pattern that was designed by Thomas Kincaid. MTA and I both spent, I don't know what, like 4 or 5 hours together, separating out about a quarter of the little mini hanks that come in each kit into different like bags so we can just kind of work on it when we finally get a chance to work on it. So far, so good. I'm crossing my fingers. You can't see it because audio, but I am crossing my fingers. Hopefully we can get all the separation done soon-ish. But quite possibly, I won't want to work on it until after Stash Dash ends for the year, though. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. On to the next, as Jason would say. Radio GaGa. So since the last time we talked, I have been listening to a whole lot of 80s music, especially while I was editing my pattern for the MCALs and stuff like that. I had to edit quite a bit for that, so yeah, I'll probably also be listening a little bit as I am, well, quite frankly, playing a lot of games. The other thing that I've actually been listening to a bunch of podcasts. My favorite murder, Martinis and Murder. You have The Fall Line, Verified, The Murder Squad. Also listening to The Dating Game Killer. That's actually done already. Wine and Crime, and That's Why We Drink, and Outloudercast. Oh, there's a note here. I have actually been watching them live as they're recording the episode too, and that does include their finale party from yesterday. If you haven't already gone and watched it, I recommend it. At one point, one of the hosts like loses his ever-loving mind and actually falls on the floor laughing hysterically. It's great, especially if you're an Outlander fan. You'll appreciate a lot of the inside jokes, I guess, from the episode from yesterday as well. All right, before I blather on, let's move on to the next segment. Silver's book pile. All right, I have actually finished a few books this month. I have finished Gypsy Lover by Connie Mason. You also have Burn For Me by J.H. Croy. You have A Taste of Paradise by Connie Mason. I have Come Home Cowboy by Alyssa Cantor. Hero in the Highlands by Susanna Nosh. That was actually an audiobook I listened to, so yay. I also was reading a book for a majority of the past couple weeks called Love in the Dark. It's a 12-book box set that does include full books of Overture by Skye Warren, The Negotiator by Avery Flynn, Driven by Kay Bromstead, Her Defiant Heart by Monica Murphy, The Proposition by Katie Ashley, The Playboy by J.S. Cooper, Begin With Me by Claudia Berga, also Second Chance Charmer by Brighton Walsh, Honey by K.M. Scott, as well as Temptation by K.M. Scott, Wild Ride by Jane Rowland, also Sweet by Skye Warren. It was a lot of books in that. It took me, almost 2 weeks, I think, to read that whole collection, but kind of enjoyed it, not gonna lie. That's why I persisted. Anyway, I also finished Twice Shy by Mona Ingram, also Blind Man's Bluff by Ivy James, Lusted by P.S. Sparks, When You Got a Good Thing by Kate Nolan, The Wild Child by Mary Jo Putney, also Sealed with a Kiss by Lena Morgan, and just last night, Racing Hearts by Candy Heart. Holy cow, all 13 books, y'all. Anyway, as to what I'm currently reading, I'm reading a book called Decidedly Off Limits by Stina Lindblad. It's cute. It's a cute romance, whatever. And I'm also reading the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows book, number 7 in that series, with the Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast. In fact, that reminds me, I do need to read chapter 3. Whoops. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment. Silver and the Case of the Screen Time. Alright, so in terms of movies, I have been watching a few movies. I watched both Armageddon, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and there was the newer version of the Murder on the Orient Express, the one with Johnny Depp in it. I absolutely loved that. In terms of TV, I did watch Outlander up until the until the final episode, which was again last night. I basically absolutely love this series. I'm so super addicted. I watched that each episode at least 3 times now. Anyway, I used so I love the series so much. I use the Geerrrms in the title of this podcast from, well, it's basically an Outlander reference. So, yep, nerd. Anyway, I've also watched Supernatural as far as I can. They're on hiatus actually until everyone can get back in the studio and create the next episodes. And in quarantine, I've been watching a lot of Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. The season finale was definitely a tearjerker, but so worth it. This series is amazing. It basically just follows this person who had an accident and now can hear everyone's, like, what she calls heart songs. It's amazing. Lauren Graham in there. So many people that... Such a good cast. I recommend it. Let's see. I've also been watching Manifest. Oh yes, and MTI and I have been watching Masked Singer, like nobody's business, as well as the mini after shows that they have been putting together. Let's see. Oh yeah, DNA of a Murder with Paul Holes, and this is the last time we talked. So that's an awesome show. I love watching him. Anyway, the Dead Files season finale, as well as the Prodigal Son season finale, both of those. I love that. Anyway, let's see. I also was watching 911. Their final episode is tonight, so next week you'll hear about that. I also have been watching off and on Mental Samurai with Rob Lowe. I have to tell you, he's so snarky and I love it. Like, these people come in and they're so cocky and they think that they know what they're doing, and like they fail. And like the first couple questions they get, I'm like, even I knew that one. Come on now. But like, I still don't know how a lot of them remembered so many facts. Anyway, if you have a chance, go ahead and watch it. I think they're midway through the season now. Anyway, I've also been watching a lot of podcasts, especially since I had a bee in my bonnet about trying to finish as many as I possibly could. So I caught up with Round the Twist with Karen, as well as the Fiber Circus, Adorn Knit, Yarn Hoarder had an episode, so yay. Stockinit Zombies had a couple episodes. Let's see, the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. Must watch every week. Stitching the High Notes. Joanna has a vlog going on throughout the month of April, as well as now here in May. I watched a lot of Unseen Strands back episodes because I had gotten way too far behind. I am now into April of last year, I think. I'm getting there, I promise. Then Criminally Creative had an episode, the Weasley Sisters, which is new to me. Both of the hosts are part of the Harry Potter House Cup with me, so I thought I'd support them a little bit. Another new to me podcast I found was the Hillywood show, Beyond Hillywood, where the two girls, Hannah and Hindi, actually have this, blog, website, miscellaneous of everything. They do like parodies of different series like Doctor Who. They do a lot of different things. Supernatural. So great. I recommend them. If you have not seen them, just look them up on YouTube. They're everywhere. They have a new podcast where they go through their memories of each parody and the episodes that they had prior to that. Don't get me started. They're amazing ladies, let me tell you. I also watched Dramatic Knits as well as Knit 3 Together. I was behind by 2 episodes, so I caught up with them. So yay. All right, let me go ahead and take a quick drink and we'll move on to the next segment. The more you know. Okay, so a couple of things in this category. The first thing I want to talk about is, hi guys, my newest pattern is now gone live. Hopefully hopefully there won't be too many more updates. I think we ironed out all the problems during the Wizarding World Tour MCAL that was going on during break month of Harry Potter House Cup. I have to tell you, there's still a MCAL going on. It's now whenever you want to finish kind of deal. I'm going to close the threads that are on the podcast group on 6/1. It's pretty much going to be the end date for the MCAL, but people can still finish it afterward. I am not picky at all. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the CAL breakdown. Let's talk the Great Podcaster Craft Together. It is a CAL that I help host here in 2020. The Craft Together started on January 1st and ends directly on December 31st. If you are a podcaster and would like to go ahead and host an FO thread on your Ravelry board as well as the main board, that's fine as well. Chatter threads are even better. Giving prizes is really up to your personal preference. However, we do have some here. If you are officially participating in the along, please go ahead and PM me directly as a podcaster, and I can add you to the list of podcasts participating, which will include your podcast banner directly there in the threads. And I will add you to the list of moderators. For everyone else that is not a podcaster, if you do happen to listen to any podcast at all and would like to go ahead, please go ahead and feel free to join in and spread the word. If you're on social media and would like to go ahead and share us, I do have a hashtag, which is a hashtag TGPAL2020 on Instagram and everywhere. I'll go ahead and put that down below so you can see that for yourself. All right, so quickly, the rules for the CAL. You must be a member of the CAL Ravelry group. If you are not on Ravelry anymore, I do understand. Please just use the hashtag on Instagram. I do make sure that I grab FO pictures from that feed throughout the year as well to include for prizes, so you know. And a new rule for 2020, there isn't a minimum yardage goal, so have at it. In the case of socks, each pair will only count once, but if you only happen to have finished one sock, that's fine. That'll count as an FO in this context. Basically, any project that you finish in 2020 will count. Non-Ravelry projects will count as well. I just ask that you post before and after photos. Non-Ravelry crafts include needlepoint, scrapbooking, cooking, latch hooking, so many others. Poly dipping is allowed and even encouraged. If you do wish to go ahead and share it in any other alongs that you enter these projects into, that would be awesome. This way we can go ahead and participate in those alongs as well, depending on the rules of said along. Now, in the case of scrappy blankets, one stripe or one square mostly counts as an FO in this context, because quite frankly, who isn't working on some version of a scrappy blanket, or 2, 3, 4 sometimes? Yeah, I'm looking at my own whips to shame myself with that one, but anyway. What you really care about, the prizes. Basically, if you would like to go ahead and donate a prize to the prize pool, I'm still collecting prizes. I did get a late start on this, sorry about that. Please go ahead and PM me directly on Ravelry, or you can actually DM me on Instagram if you'd like to add something to this prize pool. We are giving away 12 $10 or under patterns on Ravelry throughout the course of the year, so one a month. Also giving away 4 total copies of my Proud to Be Me pattern, or if you would like to, the new Wizarding World Tour pattern is going to be part of this as well, starting with Q2. And also what will be given away is a free pattern from Java Pearl Designs that will be given away 1 per month. Now, every 50 FOs, I will be highlighting different designers from Ravelry who have awesome stores, and I will give away one of their giftable patterns. If you have or know of any unknown or lesser known designers who deserve our love, especially in the course of this along, please let me know. I'd love to add them to the list. So since the beginning of the year, we have had over 300 FOs entered in the thread. To this end, I will be selecting someone to win a pattern from the following designers' Ravelry stores. And so, I'll put it down below so that way you can see them yourselves, and each of these links will be in the show notes and down below the title card. All right, so for us getting to 200 FOs, I'm giving away a pattern from Lala's Ravelry store. For hitting 250, we'll be giving away patterns from Leslie's pattern store. And for getting to 300 FOs, I'm giving away a pattern from Tracy Miller, aka Miss Grocery Girl herself, her pattern store. She has so many patterns, I'm telling you. You'll love them as much as I do. We do have 3 different prizes from Desert Vista Dye Works. Now on her Viso base, we do have the Neon Cotton Candy colorway, as well as the Zombody Needs Some Courage colorway. Love that. And on her Sparkle or Xeon base, the colorway, the mother of all Zombody Queens. It's an 8-striper. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely gorgeous. I am going to be very jealous when I have to give that away. Let me tell you. Let's see, from Nice and Knit, we do have the Sand Dollar colorway on their fingering base. And we do also have the Times Square colorway, which I absolutely love both of these, you guys. And I also did get a donation directly from New England Yarn and Spindle LLC, which is my local yarn store. She actually donated a skein of Sweet Georgia yarns in the Rainbow Sparkles colorway. So gorgeous. And we do have one prize that was not redeemed in last year's along from Knit Picks. This was the Gold Needle Organizer. I absolutely love this, you guys. I am so surprised this one didn't go fast. Okay. And since it has been a while, I did not record any time in March, so let's congratulate all of the people who have entered FOs in the month of March. You have Didor 4, Elsa and M, I Now Hour, Jodadiah, Elle McCall, Meditative Crafter, Mo's Crochet, Nicole S, Original Sin, Trilinda, and Walsh Central. So congratulations, you guys. Thank you so much for entering your FOs. I am so sorry. I am so delinquent with congratulating you. Now that I've done so, let's go ahead and move on to those that have entered FOs in April. We do have Didor 4, Elsa and M, I Now Hour, Jodadiah, Elle McCall, Meditative Crafter, Mo's Crochet, Nicole S, Original Sin, The Zeneca, Trilinda, and Wall Central. Again, congratulations. Thank you so much for participating. I am, again, so sorry I'm behind on, everything. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the category of Most Loves. If you haven't noticed already, I have been putting a little heart on pretty much every project that you have entered, because quite frankly, I cannot get enough of the awesomeness you've been working on / finishing this past month. It's just who I am. I do love to share the love and to celebrate everyone's accomplishments. If you agree with me and like to go ahead and start doing so, that would be awesome. However, so you know, there's going to be an added twist for those that do. At the end of each month this year, I will be awarding what I call the most lovers with a pattern of their choice on Ravelry. So make sure you do go ahead and hit the love button on your favorite FOs from post number 234 until post number 311 before midnight on the 1st of June, as that's when I will be locking this thread and awarding all prizes. So please make sure you also leave a comment in the honorable mentions threads as well to let me know that you voted. You'll also be in the running for a prize that way too. Okay, you came by for the prize winners, right? Yes. And like I mentioned before, I do have 2 months worth of prizes to give away, so kind of be patient with me. I promise I'll get there. Now for the $10 under patterns for March, that was the winner of that was post number 160, who is I Now Hour. From April, it was post number 78, who is VT Kimmy Kim. So congratulations, you guys. Go ahead and PM me directly on Ravelry, Silverluna 2112 there, and let me know which pattern you would like. And oh yeah, also I just realized I never drew for February's winner, especially when I recorded the Q1 video. So yeah, sorry about that. To this end, I've actually done a random number generator on the projects entered for up to today's date, which about 316 posts. The winner of this $10 under pattern was post number 247, who is Elle McCall. So go ahead and just PM me with which pattern you would like. In terms of the monthly Java Pearl Designs giveaways, from March, it was post number 113, who is Meditative Crafter. From April, it was post number 89, who is Welsh Central. And again, I never drew for February's winner. Sorry about that. So the project's up until the same 316. The winner for this one for February was post number 273, who is Welsh Central. So go ahead and PM me directly on Ravelry with which Java Pearl designs you would like. Okay, let's talk most loved. Let's talk about most loved project from February. This was post number 101 to 170. The winner of this with 9 loves was post number 159, who is Nicole S. So congratulations. Please go ahead and PM me with which $10 under pattern you want. Okay, and from February, the voters, it was from post 2 to 10. Post number 9 won a $10 under pattern as well, who was Elma Call. So go ahead and just let me know which one you would like. All right, and now for March, for the most love, was also post number 229, who is Nicole S. So congratulations on that one. And from March, the voters were anywhere from 2 to post 8. Post number 5 was the winner of that one, who is Jodadiah. So congratulations, everyone. Like I mentioned, please send a PM directly with which patterns you would like me to send you. And they do have to be giftable patterns. Okay, and the last 3 prizes are for us hitting every 50 FO post mark. For hitting 200 from Lala's Ravelry store. The winner of this was post number 23, who is VT Kimmy Kim. For us hitting 250 posts for Leslie's Ravelry store. The winner of this was 176, who is D-Dwarf4. And for us hitting up to 300 posts from Tracy Miller's store. This is going to post number 73, who is Meditative Crafter. So congratulations, you 3. Please go ahead, take a look at everybody's Ravelry store in both the links down below or in the show notes if you would like to, where you can look them up on Ravelry for yourself. That's up to you. Just let me know which pattern you would like. And like I said, for all of the digital prizes and everything, please go ahead and PM me directly on Ravelry. Again, I am Silverluna 2112. All right, so one final announcement before I go on to the next segment. MTI and I are planning on hosting a virtual birthday party for me on our Animal Crossing island next Saturday, the 16th. It's about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, which is U.S. time, and we'll go for about 3 hours. If you do want to go ahead and join in the fun, I'm also going to be running a Zoom meeting for the event. It will start 15 minutes prior, and we'll go throughout the entire time that we're there. So you know there's going to be some general rules and conduct things that we'll go over then. If you'd like to go ahead and join us in that meeting code for the Zoom is 848-3801-8822, and you'll need the password of 016713 as well. I will go ahead and put that down below as well. Once again, the Zoom meeting again was 848-3801-8822. And the password again was 016713. I'll be putting that in both the show notes as well as in a title card below, so you can see that for yourself. I really do hope to see you there. Oh, and if you'd like to ahead of time, sometimes the Switch is very finicky about only letting in my friend on my friends list. My friend code is actually 3440-8932-2714. Once again, that friend code for me is 3440-8932-2714, and I'll go ahead and I'll put that on the screen as well. Okay. With all that blathering on, I'm going to move on to the next segment. My favorite things. I have a lot of favorite things to talk to you guys about. In fact, I think my favorite things have probably taken over a majority of my brain space over the past it's a month and a half or so since the last time we talked. Anyway, family Zoom meetings are pretty much my number one favorite thing. My family and I have pretty much been going on Zoom every Sunday and just kind of talking and whatever. And so it's been so much fun. I've had Zoom meetings with so many different people. I'm like, yes. The Knitterinos, hello, ladies and gents. I think it was a gent at one point. Anyway, it's nice seeing everyone. We also did do a virtual graduation party for my sister this past Saturday. There were so many people in this chat, you guys. I think she was completely blown away with the number of people we got in there. It was a complete surprise for her. She had no idea. Actually, she mentioned at one point that she had actually forgotten that last Saturday was her graduation day. I was so blown away, like, oh, but I'm glad we were able to surprise her, so yay. Let's see. Oh, yes. I have also been playing a few games since the last time we talked. Trust me, y'all, that's a lot. If you don't care about the games that I play as much as I do, I'm going to go ahead and put a timestamp below here so that way you can go ahead and skip ahead to the next section if you choose to do so. I'm also going to give you the timestamps for each of the games as well. So if you happen to like either Cookie Clicker, Diggy's Adventure, or Animal Crossing, you can go ahead and skip to those particular segments. Okay, let's talk about Cookie Clicker. I have been really busy with the game since the last time we talked. Since the last time I talked about it on the podcast. I have gotten quite a bit done. I am up to 319.334 duodecillion cookies per second. Let's just put it this way. It pretty much just plays itself at this point. I've gotten as many achievements as I possibly can until I get to a higher number there in the duodecillion, but that's neither here nor there. The second game that I've been playing a lot of, I play every day, is a game called Diggy's Adventure. I'm actually playing through the China levels of the game, and I'm kind of working with getting the levels associated with the Monk of Metal. Basically, my introduction to this monk was a series of pictures with various puns in them. They got me so good with that I honestly couldn't resist telling you about them. If you can't see in the pictures, the game has represented 3 different metal bands, awesome metal bands, throughout that whole genre, and in pictures on the floor of each level. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. This is actually the order and how I found them. The first one was Mega Death, which literally was a bunch of lots of death around this one little picture. It's amazing. I also took pictures of this and you'll see them on the screen. The second one was Slayer, and the last one, which I don't think was labeled with a pop-up, but it was Iron Maiden. I mean, come on. Those puns were very punny. Okay, I said it. The next thing that I am probably going to talk a little bit about, as I've played over 120 hours and then some in the past, 20 days, I think I played, 25 days. Basically, the couple days after the game went live, I have been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. Like I said, I've been playing a minimum of 2+ hours every day. I'm going to add a lot of my favorite pictures that I've taken in the game since the very beginning here. Just be aware there are quite a few, and I'm going to make a little slideshow about it. But yeah, I've played this game quite a bit. I can talk about it for hours and hours and hours on end. That's why I wanted to include the photos. So here they come. If you are not interested, I will see you in the next segment with the timestamp below. Now it's time for the end of the road. I'm pretty social. You can find me on our Ravelry board, which is Silver's Dreamland Podcast. I am the Silverluna 2112 there on Ravelry. On Facebook, Silver's Dreamland can be found at www.facebook.com/Silver's Dreamland. On Instagram, I am Silver's Treats. On Twitter, I am at Silver's Knitting. Now, I do tend to read through all messages as soon as I possibly can. If you don't happen to hear from me within 24 hours, please go ahead and feel free to email me directly at silversdreamland@gmail.com. And as always, everything that I do talk about can be found in the show notes at www.silversdreamlandpodcast.com or even in the description box below if you would like. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and feel free to subscribe and hit the bell down below. This way, others can find me in my little corner of YouTube. That, and you can also see whenever I post videos. All right, I have rambled for long enough. I know this is a long episode, and I do know your time is valuable. So please go ahead and feel free to join in any discussion, or you can even start your own directly on the Silver's Dreamland Ravelry board. I don't bite, I promise. Now, if you're feeling generous, please hit that like button below this video so that others can see my show as well. Subscribe if you haven't already, and please stay tuned for episode 88 next week. Until next time, happy crafting!